Well, Snowpiercer Season 2 is now out on TNT. It's a gripping post-apocalyptic thriller set aboard a speeding train in a frozen wasteland, and it features a ton of A-list talent, including Tony Award winners Daveed Diggs and Lena Hall. We had a chance to talk to Lena about what to expect in Season 2.
Recommend a new tribunal. Or what? Don't make me threaten you, Melanie. Third touches every system on this train. We will be heard.
We were about 2 weeks till we were finished filming Season 2. So it was like when the whole shutdown happened and we were so close to the finish line of finishing Season 2. No one knew what was gonna happen next. We didn't know if we were gonna go back ever. No, the whole world didn't know what was going on. When they asked us to go back months later, 6 months later, to finish filming Season 2, my biggest scared thing was that A, I would look completely different, and B, I had gained weight from sitting at home from COVID. And I know a lot of people who gained weight from just because we didn't know what was going on, so everyone just kind of took a pause. Season 2 of Snowpiercer is going to be much darker, and there's going to be a good amount of humor in it, which I really love. The dark humor of it. We're kind of amping up that odd strangeness that Season 1 had, but this one will have a little more of that. And you can expect a lot of fabulous looks from Miss Audrey. Who knows where they come from, but Miss Audrey, her looks are 100% bigger, better, bolder, more wild, and I love that.